in vacation, and then our Human Resources Manager, Jenica Stander, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this time of year and for the spring, for the moisture that we've received. Thankful for what it will mean for our crops and for this valley. Please bless us as we go into this summertime, that we can enjoy the time with our families, that we can be safe, and that all will be well here in Box Elder County. We'd ask a special blessing to be upon those that serve and protect us in our law enforcement and our military. Please keep them safe and send them home to their families this evening. Please bless us in this meeting tonight as we discuss the needs and concerns of the county, that we can make the best decisions for the county. Please watch over our families as we're away, and we ask for these favors and blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Did you gentlemen have a chance to review the minutes?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from May 15, 2019.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Any correspondence, former agenda items, or anything?
I don't think I've got any.
We're probably going to want to start putting fire on here so we can have
Yeah,
a
that's
review
true.
on that in the future.
We already talked with our county fire marshal and told him that he's not authorized to have any fires in the county this year, so we'll probably still want it on the agenda,
See how
though.
that works.
Can I second that?
Yeah. No, they did a controlled burn on some tumbleweeds this week, and so hopefully that'll be the extent of our firefighting for the season. So,
That in the crossroads.
yes, yeah, and the crossroads. We do have a letter that we'd like to read. This came from Michael Nash. He's the chief ranger at Grand Teton National Park, and he was the incident commander for the National Park Service for the Golden Spike sesquicentennial celebration. Thank you for your support in commemorating the sesquicentennial of the Transcontinental Railroad at Golden Spike National Historic Park. The May 10th through 12th celebration was a huge success. Approximately 40,000 visitors had the opportunity to enjoy a grand and memorable event and learn about the completion of the first transcontinental railroad across the United States. Your contributions were greatly appreciated. You helped provide a safe employee and visitor experience, share information, protect park resources, and represent the greater Golden Spike community. Thanks for the support provided in response to a variety of visiting dignitaries and elected officials. We could not have done it without you. The partnership and collaboration that exists with the park is greatly valued and was instrumental in the success of the 150th anniversary event and all the planning that went into it. Thanks again for your support of Golden Spike National Historic Park and the National Park Service Intermountain Incident Management Team. Signed, Michael Nash. So we appreciate that. It really went well. We talked about it at our last meeting, and for an event that size, it went really well. And
And I actually think I forgot last time to big shout out for Niagara Water down the street off of Forest Street. They donated 35,000 bottles of water to the event. So that was amazing for a company just to step up. And we had multiple companies step up and do a lot of stuff, good stuff for us. But for them being such a fresh company and to do that, they really didn't want any recognition, but it was pretty cool that they'd step up and do that. So
we're going to recognize them anyway.
we're going to recognize them anyway.
No, and there were comments made out there at the celebration by folks that were visiting saying, we think this is great that you have complimentary water and you're not charging people $2 or $3 a bottle. And so it was an unseasonably warm day, and so it was great. So, okay. All right, well, if there's nothing else, and it's okay, I'll take a little latitude here on the agenda and we'll move things up. It looks like we've got a group here that we wanted to recognize, and so maybe we can bring them up first. Do you want to handle that, Commissioner?
Hey, yeah, since it's happened up in our end of the valley, would the three girls want to come up and with your parents and stuff and come state your names and tell us what exciting news you have? And or it's three, how many of you is there? I can't remember. 5 of them, okay. If you want to come up and, I gotta go get some more.
Okay. He invites you up and then he leaves. He does this a lot.
Yeah,
So,
this isn't the first time that's happened to us.
okay, so who's the spokesperson for the group? Okay, if you want, this microphone right here is portable, and so you can just grab it. It's a little bit unwieldy, but you can grab it and you can talk right into it.
It's not portable.
Well, kind of portable.
Okay. Sure. So I'm Chloe Kamek.
I'm Emma Peterson.
And I'm Kate Black. So this past few months, we have been competing in the National History Day, and our category was a group exhibit. And so we found this really inspiring woman, built this project based on her and about Cornelia Arnaldo Johanna ten Boom. Yes. Okay. She hid Jews during World War II, and she built a false wall in her home, and her family was caught, and she is the only survivor of her family of a concentration camp. So we had to do it on her story.
That's awesome. And when are you guys headed back to DC? Or we got 2 more, sorry. Okay, all right.
I'm Amelia Goodwin,
And I'm Rachel Goodwin.
and we did a group website on the Transcontinental Railroad and how it affected the nation and Chinese migrant workers. And we did for the theme this year was Triumph and Tragedy. And for our triumph, we did how it affected the nation economically and how it improved transportation.
And for our tragedy, we did how it affected the Chinese workers negatively.
And legislation and labor conditions.
That's awesome. So when are you guys headed back? Saturday morning. Okay, we got something for you, if it's okay for us to come around for you. So these are the sesquicentennial coins. So this mean a lot to you guys, but this is all we had to give you. So there's only a couple 2,500 of them were made, so you guys are gonna have these. And hopefully you guys are around for the, what's a 175? What do you call a 175?
Sesquicentennial and a half.
So here you guys go. We appreciate that. Okay? Can we get a picture with you? Is it okay? Let us stand behind you. We'll make Chrissy. We always know Jeff's in the back. Just more to go. Right? Oh. Yep. That's awesome. Thanks for representing. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for arranging that.
That was cool. Thanks,
Yeah.
Chrissy, for arranging that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. We'll go ahead and get back to the agenda. Mr. Montgomery, looks like you're up first.
Chad Montgomery, Box Elder County Recorder, also in charge of the Surveyor's Office. I have an ordinance here that establishes a public land corner preservation fund, frequently referred to as the Monument Preservation Fund. What it does is it allows us, by having this fund, it allows us access to grant monies from the state in order to help preserve those section corners that are what every property in the county are tied to. So this just helps us so that we don't have to foot that whole bill. It also takes the surveys, which are based on those section corners, and actually the money put into that goes directly into this fund to help preserve those corners as well. So
This has
I'm
been-
just asking that we
Been here a
establish
while, so we're just getting it done.
this. Yes.
Well, I think it's good. I'd make a motion, we approve the preservation ordinance 498.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks for putting it
Thank you.
together. Okay, let's see.
Did Nate not want to stick around for certified tax rate?
Oh, yeah, we lost Nate. Okay,
Is he out in the hall?
well, we can,
He's right there.
We can just explain it.
He's in the hall.
oh, okay. Nate, thanks for pinch hitting for Tom.
Yeah, so he's just, got the certified tax rate that he's going to do a resolution in a future meeting to adopt it, but anyway, for the 2019 certified tax rates, so
And that's just where we'll be accepting it and stuff.
accepting it, yeah, so, yep.
And it looks like the rates are actually going to go down a little
Yeah,
bit, so.
it shows on here that they're decreasing by 3.47%.
Yeah.
So.
So it's like, do you want to explain? You did a good job explaining it in the,
Yeah, one of the misconceptions out there is that if your assessed value on your property goes up, you're automatically going to be taxed more. And that's not the case. You have to go through truth and taxation. So if the assessed value goes up, then the certified tax rate goes down so that it's revenue neutral. And so it actually, the certified tax rate went down a little bit. And so it brings in the same amount of revenue, but you have to have that certified tax rate so that all else is equal. So,
and ours is this the second or third year in a row, but it's mostly because there's a bunch of people moving in, so it spreads the base across many more people, so,
Go down to him.
so.
okay.
Yep, so, anyway, yeah, but like, the other should be done, yeah. in the
Okay.
future.
Okay,
So-
well,
Thanks,
Okay,
Nate.
neat.
Resolution
Thanks,
then.
Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Okay,
You probably
Chief
should-
Deputy.
So this contract for the inmate placement, it's just a renewal of the contract we've had in place for several years. I think there's, as I mentioned in the pre-meeting, I think the only thing that really changes is the pricing that's mandated by legislative review. There may be some small policies or something that the state has changed that has changed some of the wording in it, but it's pretty general and straightforward, and we've had it in place for like 20 years, ever since we've been holding state inmates.
Okay.
Thanks. We got Steve late. I'm not sure he made it all the way through it, but
It's 27 pages, I'm about halfway through.
You made it further than I did.
I'm doing my best.
And you made it further than I did.
Me too.
I seen that they changed the date.
No, I glanced through it and just kind of got the high points. The two things I was looking at was the cost, if any,
Certified rate.
the major things had changed, and then we've always got the out. For any reason we wanted to, we just give them 60 days notice, neither party can terminate. So looked like it was pretty standard other than
And
that.
where we don't have a whole lot of stuff that goes on with that area, it doesn't mean that much to us anyway, so.
the state has been excellent to work with. I mean, if we we have an inmate that they've placed up here, and the inmate turns into a problem inmate. One phone call and he goes back.
Yeah.
So it's not a real,
So it's not a situation where they're sending their problem children up
Oh,
here
no.
for you to deal with? That's
no,
what I
and
figured.
if they have people that request to come to Box Elder County for a specific reason, they usually, preface that, and they'll talk to jail commander or the lieutenant, and there'll be a discussion before they send them up.
The individual may want to be here, but you might not want them here.
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
All right.
We've got the one thing that the state doesn't understand is that the sheriff can't sign these binding agreements, so they never ever send a signature page. So I think she's setting up a signature page for you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get it squared away.
Very good. Any other questions, gentlemen?
I'd still just pass it pending
Don't have any?
if Steve, let him get through it.
Okay.
Everybody down at the sheriff's office feels good about it, Steve, so.
I just still pass it with making sure that happens. Okay.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Do we have a contract number on that one, Jesse? Yes. Okay, 19-35? Okay.
With that contract number.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield, pending county attorney approval. All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, Dale. You better open up your
Like
public
to sign
hearing.
it?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Who do you want me to notify once I've gone over it?
The chair.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, hold on. Can I sign it?
You better open up your public.
Yeah, it is 5:15. I should have set an alarm to remind me. At this time, we'll go ahead and open up the public hearing for surplus property. Scott, would you like to give us a brief update on that? Or an overview?
So a couple months ago, Tremont and City came to the county requesting the option to purchase water shares from the county. The county owns a certain amount of water shares in the Bear River Canal Company. The number of water shares owned by the RDA, I believe, are 44 shares. And so they want to purchase those to be able to use them for a secondary water system. They, I guess, are needing to start a secondary water system. Culinary waters in short order, so using it for lawns, irrigation, other things like that doesn't make a ton of sense. With that being said, the county kind of just said, all right, we'll take it into consideration. Tremont and City more recently came back with an appraisal for those water shares and requested that it go through the county's surplus disposal process. I was directed by the commission to begin that process, took it through the planning commission, which is the first step in that. And the planning commission reviewed the county's general plan and land use code to see if this is in compliance with that. Though it's the sale of county-owned water shares isn't isn't really applicable to that. With that being said, the planning commission's recommendation to the county commission from a land use standpoint was that there's nothing that prohibits the commission from proceeding with this. The next step in this process is to hold a public hearing. That's why we're here this evening, is to hold a public hearing to get input from the public with regard to the sale of these water shares, and then from there, the county commission can proceed how they would like to proceed.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Scott.
You might, I don't know if you said it already, but you might need just the terms of the sale and what's happening there, so
Okay.
they're aware.
When we were approached by Tremont and City and they requested this, they told us the reason. We explained to them the process that this would need to go through, that it needs to go through some sort of a certified appraisal or an independent party to come up with the value of the surplus property. So they had an independent appraiser go out, and I got some comps, sent it back to us. and it came in at $5,000 a share. So they're offering us the full appraised price for the 44 shares. So the terms would be everything up front, $220,000 from Tremont and City to the Box Elder County RDA.
And that still leaves us with over 60 shares for the county, so we weren't really concerned with
Still
having,
have some, yeah.
still have some to be able to put with some property and use the water, which we do on roads and fairgrounds and things. We pull water out of the canal to do those things, so.
Good point, Steve. So we've been in contact with Tremont and City. They're amenable to that. It does need to go through a public hearing since it is a disposal of surplus property. And so we'll hold that here and then also in our RDA meeting this evening. So at this time, if any members of the public would like to speak to this point, please come forward at this time, state your name, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Should have said seat none.
Okay, Deanna Hardy Brigham. I just had a question if this ever has been done before. And also another question is, I asked earlier how the water shares were acquired, and I was told that the water shares came with the Box Elder County Fairgrounds, and then also when the property owners lost their property, then the county acquired the land with the water. I am concerned that we are basically selling to another government entity. I would like us to rather to go to selling it to a private landowner so that the free market could be used. I see a lot of this economic development going on, and it's causing a lot of hardship on the citizens, just like with Perry Point. The business failed, and then the citizens had to pick up the bond payment.
That wasn't because of the water shares. That's what we're talking about,
Okay.
is just the water shares.
But what I'm saying is it's going to another government entity, and I would rather see as Box Elder County selling it to private landowners.
And so we actually put the rest of our lease back into the pool, to what we're not using. So we usually put somewhere between, actually all of them usually back, and since I've been here, back into the pool, so the farmers can actually use that in the pool.
Okay.
So we actually do turn everything back in that we're not using into the pool, so they can use that.
Okay, will it hurt the farmers that you're taking 44 shares out and selling it to Tremont?
I don't know.
Okay. There's just some of the concerns I have. So, thank you.
Yep.
One of the other things that is looked at by the Planning Commission is if it would be in the best interest of the county and how it would affect the citizens, and if there's an overwhelming reason to do it. The reason that this makes sense, especially in Tremont and City's case, is because of the lack of water resources that they have. And so rather than using culinary water for secondary water for watering lawns, grass, trees, shrubs, whatever, they will be using this, which is not culinary. And so the savings for culinary water, it's not going to be one for one, it's going to be dramatic because it will be going to the lawns instead of elsewhere. And so it will dramatically help Tremont and City in their water usage. So.
Good.
Anybody else?
I think we're good.
You can close it.
Okay. Need a motion? Well, we need a motion.
Yeah. Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. We don't have anything to ratify at this point because there's not going to be a purchase contract until we had the public hearing, so. Okay, we already had the folks going to our national competition. Mr. Bound, it looks like you're up.
I thought we were.
That's in the RDA.
through it in the middle here, let me skip past it.
Okay.
Oh, I guess technically that was the RDA. We didn't recess into an RDA meeting, did we? Okay.
We can later, though.
Yeah, we usually do it separate, but,
Yeah, we usually do it. in the-
Public
Okay.
hearing is part of the RDA.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get the minutes done eventually. All right. Mr. Bound, if you'll just state your name for the
Yes,
record.
Charlie Bound, I'm here representing the Box Elder County Young Single Adult Wards. The Young Single Adult Wards have reserved a couple of the buildings at the fairgrounds for a summer conference on the 27th of July. As part of that conference, there'll be a service project of a couple of hours where the young single adults will be cleaning up around the fairgrounds. And so what I'm here to request is a fee waiver for the use of the buildings there at the fairgrounds.
How long are they going to be there, Charlie? Do you know?
Pretty much the whole day.
Pretty much the whole day. Are they doing a chalk thing like they did a year ago?
No.
Okay. Just wondering. Because I was going to say, hopefully they'll clean up after the chalk
Yeah,
thing. But
that's a messy thing.
yes. Okay.
I wish everybody could see your facial expression.
You must have been there too.
Yes.
Yes.
They have a lot of fun,
Okay.
at least what they perceive as fun.
And how many people are you talking about? Is it
About 60 to 80.
60
Okay.
to 80? I'd make a motion that we are okay with the waiver of the request for the fairgrounds fee.
I'd second that.
A motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Charlie.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you.
Charlie.
Thank them for their service too, please.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference at fair times.
They
So.
might
Yeah.
be picking up a bunch of nuts and bolts and stuff out there with all the bleachers and things going on, so metal detectors and,
Yeah.
okay.
Thanks, sir. All right. And on that note, Mayor.
Oh, Monty.
Thank you. Mike Johnson, Manaway Mayor. The town of Manaway is in the process of improving their park there on Main Street. And in so doing, we had a survey done. During that survey, we noticed a piece of property to the west of that park that was, really nobody owned it. And so we had a title search and a survey done, and still nothing was determined on that. We got hold of Tyson downstairs, and he did an exhaustive search on who owns that property and determined that there was no taxes paid on that little section that you can see. I'm assuming you have this before you, okay, on that section in blue there. And that it was, no taxes have been paid on that for many, many years. And so the true owner of that would be the county. What we are asking from the town of Mandaway is for the county to declare that surplus and provide us a means to obtain that, to add it to our park. So,
You're the only one that has access to it anyway, right? There's no other
well,
access?
I guess there is an access to it from an adjoining property owner, but there's never been anything, at least
Taken.
as long as I've been there, there's never been anything done with that property.
Cool.
So,
And it's just right around a quarter of an acre.
yeah, it's just a bit above .28.
Who's been taking care of it? You guys?
Nobody.
Nobody? Just weeds and?
It's just there.
No, we would just like to expand an area for parking from behind the park,
Cool.
things like that.
We'd have to go through the same process we just went through with water. if-
This would be the
if that's
same,
house.
Scott. Send it through planning commission and
Yep.
public hearing and, okay.
Okay. So we need a public hearing then, and
We'll just do
then
what
it
we
will
just
go
did
to
with,
surplus if it's approved or what.
Yeah, it would go through planning commission. We've got time for that to be on the next agenda, don't we, or do we?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's in 2 weeks, week and a half, week.
So
Okay,
you get it on there and then have it for the next commission meeting?
Yep.
possibly.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's that date then?
Yeah, because it's the 3rd,
Oh, that'd be after the commission meeting then.
20th.
We'd have to go to the,
Yeah, so it would go through the planning commission.
In July.
They would review it, and then it would come back to us with their recommendation, their findings. First meeting in July. We could probably do this by 2022, 2023.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long. We'll have them go through it, and then we can get back to you and let you know the
Do I need to be
details.
at the planning commission meeting? Or,
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
They
If you can,
always
that'd probably
they
be
always
good.
like to have as much information from the applicant as they can
and
get.
Mayor,
So
I think I would just bring that whoever's joining doesn't have a problem with that coming back.
okay.
So that would probably be something good to talk to them, whoever.
I'll give you more room for the start and finish of the race, and so okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Mayor.
So I think you probably ought to have a motion for that, and also the specifics of what's going to happen with it, so that the planning commission can review that.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we send this surplus property to the planning commission to be reviewed for,
What's the ultimate disposition going to be? That's what I mean.
For the disposal of
Is it
surplus
going to
property.
be, is it going to be given to them? Are they going to buy it? But that's one of the things they're looking at, is what you're doing with it. Can't
Yeah,
just-
it looked like in the agenda, the request was that it go through the surplus property. Just reading this right here. Manaway would like to request this be deeded to the town to continue the park to the fence line of the frontage road. So
Surplus.
sounds like they're looking for a conveyance.
Yes, so the proposal would need to say that it's just going to be given to Manaway. And that's what
Conveyance.
public hearing would be on too.
okay.
One thing that would be nice, Scott, I don't know if Tyson can get this or somebody in your office, if we could find out the history on that, exactly where it came from. That seems like it's a little bit unsure. Okay,
Probably
that would be
leftover
the
from
nice, because
UDOT.
I'm sure the planning commission's going to want that information. I would before we make a final decision too.
Well, and then I don't know if we're going to have to actually do an independent appraisal and stuff with the value also like we did with the water. So
Yeah.
since we don't have a,
There are a couple options as far as determining value, and then there's also exceptions if the commission determines that it makes sense to be
okay.
as opposed to sell it.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember looking through that on the other, so, okay. All right.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion then that we assign this surplus property to go to the planning commission based on their desire to have the property deeded to them for review.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the help on that. All right. Let's see. Tax sale, lot number 17. Mark Dudney. Is there a Mark Dudney here? Just gonna look and see if there was any additional information in here. I don't think that there was.
I didn't think so.
Let's see. Back taxes on property, Daniel Apodaca.
Have they been talking to Tom at all, or?
Yeah, that's all the information that's here. We don't have any supporting documents on it, so.
Just going from memory, I believe the property was sold in tax sale. The previous owner was considering petitioning the commission to have that exempted from the tax sale. But when he found out that the excess proceeds from the tax sale would actually go to them, he was not sure whether he wanted to just let that property go.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
good to know.
Pass on that.
Yeah.
Do you want to recap that really quick? Because I'm sure that the tape could hear that.
What happens is, once something goes to a tax sale, if the taxes, penalties, interest that's associated with that property comes to, say, $200, and the property sells for $1,000, the $1,000 doesn't stay with the county. The $200 that is owed to the county in the form of taxes, penalties, interest goes to the county, and then the excess over the amount owed goes to the original landowner before the tax sale. And so it sounds like that may have been the case. And so if he realized there was going to be some excess, great, take the money and run, not have to deal with the property anymore. So thanks for the background on that, Sean. If there's something additional, I guess you can come to the next meeting and, okay.
I can make a motion that we table it to the next meeting to make sure, so we don't have to worry about the agenda.
Second.
Okay. A motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield to table. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right. Toggling back and forth between screens here. Let's see. Laura. We are. Thanks for coming.
We should have got you up first.
Just so everybody knows, anybody that had one of these, they were from her, so.
Make sure you thank her on the way out. We do.
I really just came to say thank you. Our play turned out, The Crossing, Box Elder's Golden Treasure. Instead of doing what we started out to do was 2 performances, we did 6 performances.
Wow.
And we filled the house several different times. It even went so far, we did it for Fielding School, and they brought in some of the schools on Thursday afternoon. The kids were really excited because they got to miss school. But we got to show them some history, so that was another plus. We also gave them a picture of the old Hampton Ford in 1860 and asked them to please hang it in their school to remember what their heritage is. And so we had some real fun with them. The National Stagecoach and Freight Wagon Association was absolutely overwhelmed. Plus, we had people come in from Salt Lake, Ogden, Logan, Idaho in that morning because they could get seats that morning. And some people in the county who couldn't come in the evening because of assignments and different things came that morning. So we were just really pleased at the way it went. May I give you this report to pass in
please.
for our grant report?
Yep,
And
just
that
give it to
has
Joan.
everything in it of what we did. We also, Farm Bureau was very gracious and gave us some money toward it also. So we just wanted to say thank you. I think it fit in very, very well to the sesquicentennial.
Yep.
And we had a lot of people that came because of the sesquicentennial. We had, it's in the report, several hundred that stayed in Box Elder for 5 days.
Yeah.
So hello, we
Yeah.
get the revenue for that.
Yeah.
So we felt just very, very, very pleased. And I have to say, Box Elder County did an amazing job with the sesquicentennial. And I think you guys need to pat yourselves on the back
Yeah.
because that's where it came from. Because you okayed things, said it was all right to do it, and they went forward.
We thank you for your effort and
And
all your crew. You guys did a great
We had a lot
job.
of fun. We had way too much fun. This money went way too far because we just had a ball.
That's
So I
awesome.
just want to say thank you.
Looking at the number of people that were impacted, the number of people that viewed it, and the number of folks from outside the county, this is probably the best number of people affected for a project this small, dollar-wise, that I've personally seen.
Well, we
And
just,
so,
and plus, we sold treats up there, so they made a little money too. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, we sat there on the banks of it that night when I was there, and Doug Foxley came up, and he brought some people from Salt Lake with him, and he had just had tears in his eyes because his mom was actually baptized right there.
yeah, right there
I
at the
wondered
crossing.
if we were going to send Doug Foxley home. He kept wanting to stay. I told him he's going to have to stay at my house that night because it was going to be too late for him to drive.
Well, he loved it.
And we also had, and this kind of bothered me a little bit. I was coming back in from out to Park Valley because I'd been out there with the National Stagecoach and Freight Wagon. And I was on my way back in trying to hurry, and my phone rang, and I asked Christy to pick it up. I says, find out who it is, just act like you're me. She picked it up, and it was Mark Bigler. And I says, oh, I don't
Oh,
think
from
so.
Bigler.
Well, that was, his grandfather was Mark Bigler.
Yeah.
Well, this gentleman was 90 years old. I said, for heaven's sakes, Mr. Bigler, would you like to come to the first performance? We'll set a chair out somewhere. Oh, no, I'm a busy man. I can't be there till the second performance. He came the second performance. I offered to get him a hotel room. He says, oh, no. He says, I have meetings in the morning at 7. He was 90 years old. He came by himself, and he was just thrilled to death. So we asked to have him recognized
The
that
grandson
night.
of
Grandson
the
of Mark
big road
Baker.
bridge. Oh, my gosh. Because that's how we knew it as Big Bridge
So-
when I was growing up.
He said, I have waited and waited to find out about this, and I finally found out. And I thought we didn't do our job well if he
Wow.
had to find out about it. Because we tried to put it at the legislature, we tried to have it all over so people would come.
We did a good job.
I
Just like
wanna say
the fair.
thank you
No,
for the
thank you.
support.
No,
And
it was great.
also,
That was one of the highlights for me that week.
Yep.
it was really good.
It was the personal touch, so.
It was just very, very good, and Marvin did a beautiful job of running
Yes, they
it.
did.
He really did.
Yeah, my
He brought a lot
family
out.
enjoyed it.
This is one of the most comprehensive reports we've ever seen for a grant, too. Joan will like this.
Put in for some more next year.
Well, if I can get a play, I will.
Okay, we'll do her.
But our
Thank you again.
history is amazing in our
Yep.
county, so we need to let our public see it and let them know.
Nope.
And our mayor supported us. I just can't say enough nice things about Box Elder County and how they did support us, so.
Well, thank you to you and your husband.
Yeah.
And your
Really,
family
you.
and everybody else's. And we'll see you here in a couple months at the fair, right?
That's what I just wanted to remind you. Please come in your Levi's and old clothes.
If anybody wants to come
We can do that.
cut up sheep during the thing, your hands will never be as soft as they are in
Well, we
with
do
the
cut up
lanolin.
sheep, but,
Just telling you.
At about 1 o'clock on Friday in the posse building.
If I'm not busy doing
That's
garbages, I
right.
usually come in
If
and
you're
help cut
not
up
busy
sheep.
doing garbage. Thank you, you guys.
Okay.
Thank
really
you, Laura.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Laura.
Thank you again.
And we'll see you
Thanks,
at the
Fred.
fair.
We'll
Okay.
be there.
See ya. Scott's back up for like 10 of
All
them.
right. Yeah, Mr. Lyons, it looks like it's your meeting.
All right, let's make this one quick. First one's the Mackley rezone. It was requested the property be rezoned from A20 to commercial enterprise. This is in the South Willard area, just west of the interstate. At the Planning Commission meeting after the application was filed, somehow it came out that he was planning on doing something different than he was intending to do, and he didn't need the rezone after all, so the Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation of denial. And anyway, at this point, it's recommended that this be denied.
Yeah, that's the one where he's just going to do a home enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Can you make what?
Comment?
Well, it's going to be denied.
Yeah, it's going to be denied. Yeah.
Yeah. So unless you want to make an, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion that we deny the Mackey rezone from A20 to CE.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Next one is the Allen Udy subdivision. This is a one-lot subdivision containing 1 acre located at 16178 North, Highway 13, or 5200 West. And this subdivision has been through all applicable reviews from county departments and comes with a recommendation of approval.
Questions?
I don't have any questions. I'd make a motion we approve the Allen Udy subdivision, Lot 1.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. Tell your dad hi. Alan Udy.
That's easy. All right,
right.
then.
So now we can jump into corridor preservation requests. There were 6 requests during this application cycle. 5 of those requests were approved by the COG, the mayors, and one of those requests was denied, and one of those 5 that was approved with conditions. So the one that was denied is not here today, and the one that was approved with conditions is not here yet because the conditions have not been met yet.
Those
So
were the two in Garland.
Yeah, the 2 in Garland. So the two that are here tonight are Brigham City 400 South, Brigham City West Forest Street, Perry City Maddox Lane, and Perry City Commerce Way. I guess we can just start from the top. I don't know if you guys have, it was a lot of information probably to review.
It was a lot.
I don't
I'm
know.
glad I missed the meeting.
No, I looked through it. I mean, to me, this is the crux of the Corridor Preservation Fund,
What
how it's supposed to
be.
work.
Yep.
Where you're actually acquiring the property ahead of time. It's in the master plan. It sits there until it's ready to be built, which may be a year, maybe 10 years, but it's been planned for. And so these made a ton of sense. The one question I had, and maybe you could just go over this briefly. In each of these line items, it talks about how it can save so much in appraisal or review cost. How is that calculated, and why are the numbers so different? I mean, the one, it could save as much as $73,000 in appraisal and review costs. A couple of the other ones were like $3,000.
Yeah, so, and that's something I'm not.
Does that just come from the municipalities?
No, so basically when they submit an application for funding, they include there are various costs associated with the acquisition of that property. Some of those costs, and the ones that really come into play here, are the appraisal report. So those estimated appraisals are $2,500, and then the appraisal review is $700. This is, let's go off, I think Brigham City and Perry City actually used the same company to come up with their cost estimates.
Yeah.
So that between the appraisal and the appraisal review would be $3,200 per property. Now, the Corridor Preservation Fund, the way the policies are set up for Box Elder County basically says if the property is valued at less than $20,000, then the person acquiring the property can go with a administrative cost estimate as opposed to an appraisal. So that would have potentially, on the Forest Street one, that the reason that adds up is because you're basically looking, and if you look at the map, it shows it visually, but in the table here, it shows the majority of those properties, if not all of them, just looking at it real quick here, I think all of them are less than $20,000.
Because they're just buying a small sliver from multiple property
Yep,
owners.
it's just expanding that
Okay.
right of way just slightly. So they could, in theory, do administrative cost estimates for each of these.
That makes
and
sense.
make offers based on that. Or even if they wanted to, they could come in and have one or two of the properties appraised to get an idea, because they're all
And then use the same
very
appraisal.
similar. And then use
Okay.
the same appraisal to say, look, this is how much it's worth essentially.
Good use of funds. Okay,
So-
that makes sense.
Now, with that being said, when this was approved through the COG, and the county commissioner is the final approving body, it was approved at the full asking price, not at this, the potential savings price, if you get what I'm saying.
They'll just get it back,
Well, that's if they
use the savings.
if they actually go the administrative cost estimate route, as opposed to if they go out and get appraisals on every single one of these properties, then it's not going to fall back in the fund. It's actually going to be expended. So I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want to tell them, get a cost estimate, or if you don't want to force them into the cost estimate, but you can recommend it.
I think it'd be good to recommend it just to be able to do.
The way the
least
policy is
amount.
read is it says they may use an administrative
Right.
cost estimate. It doesn't require them to use an administrative cost estimate.
I would agree with Commissioner Summers that we highly recommend it. I mean, if it saves that kind of money, that might as well stay with the municipality or in the fund than be
Yeah.
expended.
It would stay,
especially
it would stay in the
multiple times.
fund, which
Yeah.
essentially frees up money for future projects that municipality may need.
Yeah, I think that's the best use of the preservation funds.
So I think just as the administrator of the fund, I would appreciate it if you include that in the motion.
Okay.
So that when I send out their approval letters, I can include that specifically in the approval letter, and
Some teeth.
hopefully that'll motivate them to go that route.
Okay.
Well, and then some of it can be used back to their maintenance also. If they decide to want to, kind of like Perry City, they can come back and say, hey, we didn't use it this much, so can we fill potholes? So,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
With that being said, the first one, so 400 South Corridor, I don't think I laid this out for you guys incredibly clearly, but it is in all the information there. The 400 South Corridor, Brigham City's requesting $203,988. And that consists of 5 properties at 2.84 total acres.
Do you want us to do them all at once or just,
Oh, let's do them individually.
Okay.
That's how they're on the agenda, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Brigham City 400 South Corridor Preservation Fund request.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next one is Brigham City West Forest Street. And this one, the actual requested amount is $239,445. That's for a total of 23 properties and 1.49 total acres.
Wow.
Okay. I'll make a motion we approve the corridor preservation fund for Brigham City Forest Street.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then Perry City, we've got the Maddox Lane request. And that one they are requesting $497,190, $497,190.
Any questions on that one?
So
That's a good one.
on,
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was 6.
it's a good one, but they're going to take the curve out of it and just take it straight on through then, down to 1200
Yeah.
Hope
west.
so.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep, it goes straight to 1200 west. It consists of 6 properties.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely neat.
I'll make a motion that we grant the corridor preservation funding request for Perry Maddox Lane.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
And the final one is Perry City. This is Commerce Way. And this total requested amount, my document will load here, is $600,359. And this one was a total of looks like 15 properties.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the corridor preservation fund for Perry Commerce Way.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
These are,
That's going to definitely help,
yeah.
having those eventually get
Well,
in place.
You know, and then I know Gordy's doing this stuff up there in Promontory or Portage, right? That we did, what, last year?
Yeah, they've been doing those improvements.
And that's a huge, huge help to them. And then if anybody's been to Tremont lately and seen the Maverick, what they did up at the Maverick by widening and
Giving a right-hand turn.
getting right-hand turn lane and stuff, this is, like I said, this is what this was all about, what it was passed for, so.
well, and with the rate of development in Perry and especially going down towards 1100 south, 1200 west,
It's gonna help.
you're
a ton.
going to need some more through
Yeah,
your
and each
streets.
of those should be more like arterials, 90-foot wide
Right.
right-of-ways, creating enough space for traffic to
I
actually
know
flow.
you'll appreciate that
I
one.
wish we already had it done, considering the construction that's going on with that pipeline right in the middle of the highway.
Oh,
Right.
gosh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Poor lady that left-hand turned into
Oh,
Maddox. and-
yeah, I saw that, bottomed out her car.
Can I get this signed? The
Yeah.
subdivision?
You bet.
Yeah, did you hear about that yesterday? That pipeline, you know what's going in between? That lady just turned into Maddox.
Did you see it?
I just heard.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, you seen it?
Car, yeah, it was sitting down in there. Luckily, I guess she'd gone fast enough that her bumper caught the other end of the rut there.
I didn't go clear
So her
over.
front tires were just suspended over the hole. crazy.
She went across that trench.
Yeah, I tried to take a left-hand turn across the trench.
You only do that once.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think it was, what's his name, the deputy that used to work for us. It's now with Perry. It was on scene there. I saw him.
So, Mr. Young, are you pinch hitting for Bill today? Yes, sir. Okay. I know you're on the agenda here for the stormwater, but I didn't see him here, so I was wondering if you were handling the asphalt as well. All right. Cool. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Hey, for our 1st of July meeting, could you give us an update on where we're at halfway through the year? If you or Marcus could put that together, just maybe the number of building permits that you guys have done.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see how things are moving along.
Pace we're on.
Cool.
I assume, are you changing it from the 3rd of July?
Oh, just, yeah, 1st of July meeting. Yeah,
Hey, and then
whatever day that is.
maybe tell
We'll be
us how
here.
much is left in corridor 2.
That was a big chunk that came out on this.
Yeah, but
About 1.4, 1.5 total. Okay. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
we increased
Okay.
800,000 a year. 900,000.
I'm Gordon Young, Operations Supervisor for Box Elder County Road Department, and setting in for Bill Gilson. I have 2 contracts for agreements with Staker Parsons and LeGrand Johnson for paving areas in Portage. And I'm not sure how, if you want these.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Staker Parsons' contract is $258,535.80. And the LeGrand Johnson contract is $240,552.53.
Okay. These came before us a little while ago. We just got the lowest
Yeah.
bid, so I'll make a motion that we approve the Staker Parsons Asphalt Agreement 19-31.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye. And I'll make a motion we approve the LeGrand Johnson contract 19-22.
32.
32?
32, yeah.
Put your glasses back on. Oh,
I
you
need,
have your
I need
glasses.
stronger glasses.
I'm just kidding.
Did I hear a second over there?
Second.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm assuming that you'd already reviewed these, right, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't come in this morning. They didn't come in this morning.
Had them for a while.
Sorry.
There's that one too.
If you want to talk about the other ones while we're signing, you can do that too. The next one, you're fine.
I've also got a easement for storm water and surface drainage for the Box Elder County Fairgrounds. That is,
These twice.
With a bunch of landowners that own the
yes,
ditch.
there was, they've got 5 out of the 27 majority stockholders in the canal with the
Yeah.
water rights to sign the easement.
And if anybody hasn't been out there to see what they're doing with the stormwater, to be able to separate it from everything that's going on, and then they're actually getting us a, what do you want to say, a settling pond?
Yes.
In front, right behind the train garden, to be able to put the water into there instead of right up to the road and
It'll be
into sewers.
more of a detention type of
Yeah.
pond that on real stormy days, it'll go down the drainage system. If not, it'll just evaporate.
Yeah,
Make it a lot
better.
better for the storm drain system.
I've got some input on this. I reviewed the easement agreement, talked with Bill quite a bit, talked with Chad quite a bit. It's a little more complicated because it's a private ditch. And basically, the plan is to hook into the box there. Chad's looking into it right now. The box, I think, sits on Tremont's right away. That's what he's checking. And if that's the case, we may need Tremont to sign it as well. So they've been out there doing some surveying, so he thinks they've got the information, but he's checking on that. So I think basically what you do today is approve the
Pending.
agreement. It may change completely how it is based on what we find. But the other interesting thing is we don't know who owns it because basically it's a private ditch company. They don't have a deed to their ownership. They've got shares in the water company and the canal company, but the canal company won't sign because it's a private ditch. So it's kind of a complicated.
Well, and we were actually part of the ditch too, because we uncovered that ditch when we put the beef barn in. We uncovered that drainage ditch, and we actually were a part of that ditch until we covered it in, so.
So I'm not exactly sure where we're going to end up on that, but it's a little more complicated. I wish it were as easy as it looks, but it's.
There's some maintenance that we're willing to do to help them.
Well, it's the same people that we actually covered in everything around, so they've been willing to help us because we've done so much for them around, so. But I was actually going to make the motion, said pending. So.
No, we looked at it, I worked on it for quite a while, and we just are not sure. So Chad's going to get some information to me. Bill tells me there's no real rush on it. We need to get it done, but not like yesterday.
Except for
the contract's going to be, the contractor's time is limited.
That's even if we just put up a board or whatever, and then we end up having to take it out. I mean, basically connect it or not connect it, and then pull it out if we have to.
The contractor would prefer to start at that point, so everything doesn't end up running uphill.
So we can approve this pending the outcome of finding out ownership and getting all the
Chad's got to do
applicable
some research,
signatures.
look into see exactly where it sits. We may have to have Tremont be a party to the agreement. Just don't know for sure at this point.
I'd make a motion that we approve contract 1937 pending signatures on, what do you want to say, rightful?
Well, pending modification and approval by the county attorney.
1937 or 1935?
I thought it was Fairgrounds Water Easement 1937 on mine.
Yep,
Oh, I got
1937.
1935 on mine, and my glasses aren't deceiving me, so. Okay.
Okay, it's 1937 on mine.
And Bill left town before I could tell him this, so if he has any questions, have him call.
He actually called me last night when he was boarding the plane and told me that that's kind of what was happening, so.
Chad and I are working on it, but.
1935, yeah.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Summers
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
I thought it was a motion by.
By Steve?
No, a motion by him.
We okay signing this, Steve?
Signing the.
Should we hold off until we
Hold off.
find out all of the details on Tremont
That
and
whole
everybody?
agreement's probably going to change.
Yeah, okay.
You guys have the addendums, the attachments and all that with your stuff?
Let's
No.
see.
I think we already got those contracts on the other ones, right?
But there's a bunch of addendums
No.
that need to be attached. That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
And it wasn't
Yeah,
on
we
my
had-
copy. I don't know if it's on yours.
Yeah, we hadn't received anything at the time the agendas went out.
Are you
so-
talking about the water?
No, this is the Staker Parson and the LeGrand Johnson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you need to give those in. Sorry, I thought he was still talking water.
No, there's a whole bunch of documents that were supposed to be attached that weren't.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Gordy.
Thanks, Gordy. Appreciate
For
it.
everything. How you enjoying the county?
Mr. Anderson,
I'm learning.
Well, we
You're
appreciate
enjoying
you having
learning?
here.
I'm enjoying the learning process.
there you go.
We appreciate you having here.
How you doing, Mark?
Good, thank
Good.
you. Mark Anderson, Boxelder County Weed Department, here to get approval on a proposed goat grazing project on Promontory for noxious weeds, which would involve the county and two landowners out there, and funding would be reimbursed through the county from the ISM brush skeleton grant money.
Cool. I think it's a great idea.
I like it. The Water Conservancy's been doing it for a number of years where they can't use herbicides right there next to the other water source. And it's done a fantastic job. They put little air tags on each of the goats that are named after each of the board members on the conservancy. And so if you see a goat running around out there with the Jeff tag on it, yeah, it's me eating weeds. So I think it's great, and they work hard.
They do.
Cool.
They do.
That's
And
awesome.
I'll make a motion, we approve noxious weed contract 19-36.
This is another one that needs to be subject to my approval. I've talked to Bill quite a bit on this one. There's some things that need to be clarified in the agreement. I just haven't had a chance to make those clarifications yet, so.
Pending Steve's review.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, boss.
Yep.
Steve,
Wait,
hold off.
Yeah.
Okay,
thanks, you guys.
Yep.
I think the form of that was
Thanks.
going to change.
yeah.
You can go if you want.
Jenica,
I don't know, do we? Okay. You can stick around for a closed session. I don't know anything
I'm
about
not
it.
sure what it's about.
Okay. Okay. I couldn't remember, no. If he says something, we can get you done first and then you go. Okay.
Okay, so employee agreement number 19-33 you have in your hands. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
nope.
Pretty straightforward. The employee's already signed it, so it just
Okay.
requires your
I'll make a motion that we approve the employee agreement 19-33.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, and it should be a DP agreement, 19-34. ADP is the company that Keith and Tom and I have been looking at to run our payroll and HRIS through. It does everything we need to do in one suite, saves a little bit of money, but when they go to change the accounting software, it's going to save a lot of money. Well, I say a lot. I think 30,000 is a lot, so,
So
Half an employee.
yeah.
they're looking at changing to Cassell.
They're going to look at Cassell for the accounting software, and then it works well with ADP.
Okay, that was my first question. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how well it interfaces with Tyler right now because we're not going to be there long, but
No,
it
and-
does interface with Cassell.
Yeah, and we are looking at
Okay.
implementing both at the same time so that we only have to dump into one program instead of two.
No, that was the other question because I know that we've changed software packages a couple of times in the last 5 years and it's tremendously expensive. And so if this is going to be a long-term fix, I'm in favor of it.
Yeah.
If it's a Band-Aid,
My
not so
plan
much.
is long-term. I
Okay.
don't want to do this again. Software
ADP's been
conversion's
around for a
hard.
while. I know a lot of folks use them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I have a feeling that both of us were, the last time, we probably wouldn't have changed the last one, so.
So
Okay,
Well, I don't think it did exactly what.
we were promised.
was intended.
Anyway.
So the ADP agreement is an electronic agreement, so I just need a motion to have the commission chair sign that electronically.
I make a motion that we have the commission chair sign electronically for the ADP agreement 19-34.
Second.
Just one more point here. Steve, have you had a chance to look at this?
Yes.
This one was long. I mean, this was,
Very long.
29 pages.
this was about as long as our inmate service contract.
It was longer.
So a
Okay.
couple of changes that they did make, they did allow us to use the state of Utah instead of New York State for any litigation that comes. They did change the payment time from 7 days to 14, and I verified with the auditor's office that that's plenty of time for us to get them paid. And then we asked for some clarification on some terms at the very end of things that HR needed to understand, and they've provided that, so I think we're good.
Okay.
So
All right.
essentially, all the questions I had, Jenica got fixed, so that's good.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jericho.
Very good. Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I've got a contract here, but you'll just send me the link
Yeah.
to sign that? Okay.
I'll send it in the morning.
Clipped.
All right, well, we'll just pass this right back to Jessie then.
Do you want me to stay up here for your next item? The policy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. what took place was during the last day or so of the legislature, they slipped HB 163 through, and it can have some pretty broad-ranging effects on personal use of county property, in our case, city property, and municipalities' cases. If an individual improperly uses county property for personal use, it can be construed as a felony. And if you're an elected official, you can be removed from office. You can also lose your pension, let alone your position if you're a department head or an employee. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that our county policy spells out what the permitted uses are of personal use of county property before the law goes into effect on July 1st. There's a number of different templates, different ordinances that we've looked at that have come from Paiute County, Wasatch,
USIP,
UAC,
Washington.
Weaver.
Alphabet Soup. There were a number of them, and there were some good points. There were some other points that maybe didn't make as much sense. Our county attorney, Steve Hadfield, had a chance to review those and has put forth a recommendation of the one that we use. And do you want to cover that, Steve?
Sure, there's
You
been,
know better.
after we put that together, USIP came out with another one,
Yeah.
and that's significantly different in principle. And it's just a matter of, there's some tough questions to be asked, but basically, according to USIP, the one that I put together would be good for smaller entities that don't have a lot of personal property. The other one would be better. The change basically is all personal use is okay unless they're notified it's not. And so
That was my idea.
there's some,
Well, the problem that we have there is we've already went through that in a couple of departments recently where we've said that personal use of certain items or certain facilities is not permitted.
right.
And so if we instituted this,
Well, that's
we'd
another
have to go
question.
back and reinstitute what is and isn't permissible.
Well, that's another question. Should this override our existing ones?
No. But the governor's office and the auditor's office said it will, that we have to either do this or not.
Or can't we grandfather what's already in place?
Well,
But I think
no, but see, the
we'd
question
get in
is,
trouble there for selectively grandfathering certain items and not
No.
others.
the issue that I'm looking at is, right now, we've got various policies set up in various different departments. Somebody violates that, and this law's in effect, it's a felony, whether we want it to be or not.
Right.
If we adopt a policy which overrides all those, it's not. But then it nullifies all those policies that we've tried to put in place.
Right.
That's the problem.
The problem with the state statute, and we've talked about this in my office quite a bit, I don't think there's any middle ground. We can't have a violation of policy without it being a felony, just the way the statute's worded.
What ability do we have to amend our policy after this law takes effect in July?
Well, you can amend it after, but you can't change it from being a felony after the fact. It has to be in place before the conduct has been committed.
Okay. So so that's the problem. If we're reactive after July 1st and we change something, if there has been somebody that was guilty of doing something and we allow it to be permissible after that, it's too late. For them, it's a felony.
Right.
So it's a matter, and I really don't know the answer. I felt pretty good about it until USIP came out with this other one, which is basically all personal use is okay unless we tell you it's not. Once we tell you it's not and you do it again,
Yep.
then it's a violation. But that opens the door to, I mean, we were talking theoretically, under that policy, I could take the county car and go on a trip to California until you tell me that's not okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You could
But
use-
should
yeah,
should that be a felony?
possibly. But
What if I,
taking a pen home probably shouldn't be.
what if I stop by Shills on my way home from St. George at a conference? Should that be a felony?
Nope.
Probably not. But under the state statute, it would be.
So we're trying to just make a break for now on next session. So we're just,
But we're going to have to live with whatever we do for a year,
well,
Right.
and the possibility that nothing happens. I don't think nothing will happen,
I-
but
believe me.
So if you looked at my draft, there was a whole bunch of notes there, things that we need to think about. I don't know if we can do them all tonight, but there's, for instance, de minimis. Do we want the county auditor to be the one that polices this? Does he require, anytime he discovers it, even if it's de minimis, that it be paid back? If not, we're saying, okay, go ahead and spend $90 and that's okay. I mean, there's all sorts of questions.
I would like to see a dollar amount in there personally, because
So
I'm with you. I don't want it to turn into something where somebody says, well, this is the point that I can go up to before I'm going to get in trouble, so I'm going to take it to the extreme every chance I get.
Right.
And, you know, give somebody the
I just don't
carte
think it's
blanche to
going to
do
be
it.
that bad of a problem here for the next 8 months until we get it redone.
See, the sheriff's pretty concerned because of all of it, the stuff that his deputies do.
Right.
So the question is, they're just policy decisions that you guys are going to have to make.
Have we seen a copy of the one from USIP?
Yeah.
It came, what day
Okay.
was that? It was like
This
2 days
morning?
ago?
Yeah, Monday.
2 or 3 days
No, I
ago?
think it was just like yesterday or today.
There was an email from USIP, Johnny Miller, that had it in there. It's basically the one that we've got, that I liked, with some adjustments to it.
Retweak.
And there's significant adjustments.
I don't know if I got a copy of it.
I just barely had a chance to look at it yesterday, and so I haven't.
Yeah, I'll have to check unless it got stuck in the spam filter. I don't think I received
I
it.
can send you a copy here really
It
quick
came
if you'd
today.
like.
Or yesterday?
Yeah.
I don't think I've got it either.
Well, it came to us and 38 other people, so.
Like June 3rd at 5:49 PM.
Yeah.
See if I can find you a copy here.
I can forward it to you.
Monday? I don't have anything.
Have you got it?
Yeah, I've got it.
I've got it here. I'm trying to figure out how to get it to you guys.
See if
It's
might
there.
be Junk.
Let me forward the email. Maybe that's the thing to do.
I forwarded you the email.
Okay.
So have you got it?
We have to get this done by July 1st, so you've got
One more meeting,
one more
basically.
meeting.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my
But I
suggestion.
like the one, like you said, it was basically yours with a few other tweaks, but the tweaks were pretty measurable, in my opinion. But you talk to the auditor's office, they blame it on the AG's office. You talk to the AG's office, and they blame it on the auditor's office, so. And we're stuck. We tried to get the governor to veto it and tell him to go put it in the interim until the next, but I don't know what happened.
Okay. Well, that would be my suggestion, is we take a look at this over the next 2 weeks and see if we can come up with something that,
Save this till next.
But I
session.
mean, there's some important decisions that need to be made, so I encourage you to look at the draft that I did with all
Sooner
the
than later.
comments. Because there's
Okay.
some questions there, and the new draft. Because when all is said and done, it's going to be you guys that are going to have to be the ones that say, this is what we do.
Well, the biggest thing is that if for some reason anybody that's under my direction does it, and for some reason I'm aware of it, not only do they have a felony, but it's a felony against me also.
Right. See, the other problem that I see, I don't know if I should say it's a problem, but if it's not a violation until we say it is, how do you adjust for differences, different treatment in different departments? Let's say we know about something in the roads department, but not in the county attorney's office. We
Right.
say it's not appropriate out there, but still appropriate in the county attorney's office. That could be an enforcement problem.
But it's the same problem with them enforcing whatever they're trying to make us do now, like a pen versus a car. It's the same problem. So,
And the other issue is who's going to make the decision whether it's inappropriate? Is it the commission? Is it the supervisor?
I think
Is it
it's
the auditor?
the attorney.
And, no, I don't think so. I don't
And then
think
you
so.
have appeals issues too.
county
if you
attorney.
Pick you.
all in favor of the county attorney?
Depending on who makes that decision, who's it going to be appealed to?
Right.
The county attorney. Can you split into
He's
two?
gonna quit. You better stop.
There could be a vacancy pretty soon.
You better have Diet Coke out my nose.
No, that's a good point.
So
Well-
there's a lot of stuff, and
I think we've got some homework to do for the
Exact
next.
arguments that we sent to the governor's office.
My suggestion would be that we look through this for the next week, no longer than that, get the information back so we have a chance to have some thoughts so that it can be put together.
Okay.
Because whatever we're going to do has to be approved at the next meeting, or we're subject to what the state dictates, and I don't think any of us can live with that.
No.
I'll make a motion that we table this personal use of county property until next agenda and make sure it's on the next agenda item.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye. Had Summers.
Had Summers.
Um,
Okay.
I'm supposed to put 2 people on the bookmobile and I forgot.
I've got their names right
Now
here.
I've lost it because I looked up that other.
Yeah, it's Katrina Nelson and Tora Bruff. Katrina's from South Willard and Tora's from Manaway.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Brad Rhodes did talk to both of these individuals. They frequent the bookmobile and they're both willing to serve, so. All right, let's see. I guess that our commission meeting in August is going to be during the fair.
During the parade.
Get you out of the parade.
So,
Just hold it out there.
Actually,
Is it a
it'd be
morning or
before
an
the parade.
afternoon? when-
We
It's the
could.
morning when it's 11:30. Guess we could do it and then head out to the parade.
Whatever the chair would like to do.
you know, I'm actually okay with that as long as it doesn't mess up staff. I know sometimes we have folks from the clerk's office that are out there assisting
You won't be here, is that what you said?
up there. Do we know if Marla and/or Jessie
Probably.
will be here?
Can we hold it out there?
We don't get to leave town that week. Just be here.
And Keith can live stream it?
The one problem that I see is if we put it off to the following week, then you've got commission meetings back to back. Because you'd have one the last week in August, first week in September, which stranger things have happened, I guess. So I'm fine either way. I can be here in the morning. Things aren't too hot and heavy out there until
I said
Wednesday night, Thursday.
I'll see what happens. I mean, if not, I can always
If we
skip
got
one.
somebody from your office to be able to cover.
Well, why don't we do this?
Okay.
We've still got at least 3 or 4 meetings before that date. Let's table it until our next meeting, if that's okay. And we'll check with the clerk's office and personnel and see if that's going to affect anybody.
I make a motion, we table the August 21st commission meeting change.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you want to cover this one?
Yeah.
Commish?
It's been approached that we do a letter of recommendation for, now I've lost that one too. What was his name?
Mr. Wallace,
Yeah, Mr. Wallace for Fish and Wildlife. So we appreciate that we're finally getting some people actually put into positions to help in our arena. So we're going to put a letter of support, hoping that he will make it through Congress and actually be put into where he needs to be. So I'd make a motion that we sign the letter of support for Mr. Wallace.
Second.
have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I guess we need to go back into an RDA meeting for just a minute if we're going to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion that we go into our RDA, or no, you just have to suspend and go in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
If you guys had a chance to look at the minutes, these were from April 3rd, 2019, our last RDA meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from April 3rd, 2019.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Is that it?
That was it, yeah. We didn't have anything to approve because there's not a purchase agreement or anything yet, so.
I'll make a motion, we close the RDA meeting.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Just got some things to sign, and then I think we'll be moving into a closed session.
On personnel and
Possible pending litigation, I believe.
I made that motion. What's this one?
The RDA.
Oh,
For some reason, it just has the one on this one.
okay. Let me go throw that on Joan's office.
Yeah, then I won't lose it or file it in the wrong place. That one's already done.
Okay.
If you had a chance to sign anything in the green folder.
I haven't, but I'll sign them so you guys can sign them while I'm finishing these.
Okay.
Cody turned the locks around so we can lock them from here.
It's a good idea.
Let's see.
Scared the crap out of me that one night when somebody was gonna pop it in the back during the commission. Who's the quickest?
I'm
Your-
not sure what this one is. What,
Permit that they requested. He was saying something about how we wasn't sure if we was
Okay.
going to allow them to.
Here you go.
okay, that's probably okay. Okay,
Into our right of way. So
Yep.
I've got permits on hold.
Okay.
Till we get a,
Hold on.
you know.
I haven't seconded your motion yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were just wondering who was
Yeah.
first.
Who's on second?
This will be quick.
Are we good to close the meeting yet or not?
Okay.
You waiting for my second?
Finishing.
You haven't got everything signed
You
yet?
got to sign
Thank you.
Come on, get them all signed. Let's go.
as soon as he signs.
Oh.
Aye.
Wasabi with you.
I'll second Commissioner Summers' motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a
Wait a
second by
minute,
Commissioner
whoa.
Summers.
I
what
just
did we do?
seconded yours.
Oh, I
You
thought-
made it away. You seconded my second.
I think we have a motion and a second from somebody.
It's the longest
all
commission
in
meeting we've
favor?
had in a long time. isn't it?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.